Hello my lovely YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. In this video I'm tweaking my PC performance to find my ideal frame rates where the sim's not jerking around left, right or centre. I'm going to show you how to do that and how to lock it down and how to find the best graphical fidelity for your own PC so that you looking at the sim, you're happy with the way it looks and you're happy with the way it's performing. This may be useful for those of you on PC who are having frame rate issue or performance issues in Flight Sim 2024 and you want to find a guide on the best way to optimize Flight Sim for your system. I do hope and think this video will be helpful to many of you. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. Okay, so flying over New York, one of the densest areas in Flight Sim 2024. I've got my frames showing with MSI Afterburner. Link to that program in the description. Great way of showing your actual frames in the sim and in other games as well. PC only, of course. And as you can see, flying over New York, flying over the dense parts, I'm hitting, sometimes I'm getting low 50s, sometimes I'll get mid 50s. There you go, that's gone to 50 frames now. But at times it'll get just under now. There we go, let it just settle down. Sometimes it'll go over. It's kind of fluctuating frames. And that's not good generally for performance. You want to lock your frame rate at a constant, achievable frame rate so that the sim's not jumping around, causing judders and goodness knows what. Not just Flight Sim 2024, in other games as well. Typically, looks like I'm hitting mid-50s there. Let's just go to my settings and show you them, what I'm running. No frame generation, by the way. Full screen, 1440p, TAA, so no NVIDIA super resolution. TAA, I think the sim looks better. Frame generation, none on at all. I'll come back to max frame rate in a moment. I'm going to turn that on. If I go to global rendering quality, it's high-end, essentially. Everything, I've just bumped up terrain level of detail and objects level of detail to 115. Put my grass to medium, clouds to ultra. The rest is just left alone on the high-end setting, apart from the bottom bits there. I don't want sea traffic high on road traffic. I don't want airport services high. I've actually turned it off and turned them to low. So I've just altered a few at the bottom there, but the rest is high-end. I'm going to limit, and I've got AI traffic turned off under online. I've got it turned off just for reference. I'm going to limit my max frame rate. I can achieve 50, and it's quite, well, it's easily achievable with my settings I've got set in. And it means it's not going to bounce around so much. Let's just resume. There you go. 50 frames. It seems to be sticking around there. If I jump in the cockpit, the frames will drop when you jump in and out of the cockpit. It's just rendering a new scene. There you go. Pretty much 50 frames. It seems to be staying locked. It will go below sometimes. Don't worry about that, because it can't go above it. So the only place for it to go is below sometimes. But it's only a momentary sort of glitch where it will go below. There we go. 50 frames. Let's get us over the dense part, see if it stays there. I've tested this a few times just to make sure. And that seems to be achievable and maintainable for my system. Let me just zoom in a little bit there. So you get the graphical fidelity. Once you have that, whatever system you're running, PC, once you have your frames set to an achievable level, don't have it ticked first. So just have it unticked, like I showed you before. See what your frames are doing. They're bouncing around a bit, but I can see I can achieve 50 frames. So then lock it to 50, or whatever it would be. It might be 30 for you, it might be 40. 45's okay. I'll show you in an airliner in a moment. In fact, I have to lower my frames to get it to a lockable frame rate. 50 frames, save and back. That seems... Once you have it there, you can start adjusting other graphical settings. Maybe buildings on Ultra, I've tried that and it seems to be okay, but I prefer my buildings on High, they look fine. You can adjust other settings to get the sim to your liking. That's with a GA aircraft, and that's just a quick setting to help you achieve better performance with your sim. Let's jump into an airliner and take a look at that. Okay, airliner test. I'm at San Francisco Airport, quite a busy little airport, few people around. In the A320neo version 2, there's busier airports, there's busier aircraft, so I'll talk about that in a moment. Just look at my frames though, similar settings. That's dropping quite a bit, isn't it? It's dropping around to 30 frames there with the settings. Same settings I've got, now it's settling down. Kind of settles down. At airports, you'll find some of the biggest frame drops in an airliner that you'll find in a sim. I'm going to try and rectify that though. Let me just show you the settings again. So similar settings, locked at 45, TAA, no frame generation and goodness knows what. 1440p. I'm going to lower the object's level of detail. I know this can take a hit. I'll just put it down to 105. Even 100 would do, but 105, let's just see. Keep in mind I'm recording as well with GeForce Experience. That can add a few frames, and I've got my GPU usage at the top there. That's going up to 95, 96%. Oh dear. Okay, let this just settle down. And it should settle down to around 40. There we go. Moving around. It's going to depend what's happening at the airport, isn't it? If you've got a pay-where airport that's very resource heavy, you may find those frames will drop further. This is just a hypothetical, what we can do to help steady those frames. First thing I'm going to do is come in. Settings. And I'm going to adjust these frames to 40. Save them back, resume. Let it settle down as we jump back into a scene. Sometimes it goes to mid-30s. Even mid-30s might be better. One more thing I want to do there. Settings. Should have done this in the first place, but I'll do it now. Object's level of detail down to 100. Apply, save and back, and let's just see. Let it settle down as it jumps back into the scene. Yeah, seems more stable. I'm not getting any jerky frames, by the way. There you go. Now it's settled down. Look, solid 40. So with the setting, can you see what I'm doing? I'm adjusting settings to get my frame rate constant with no frame generation. Jumping around a wee bit there, but it's smooth enough. In the cockpit, let it just settle as you change scenes. Seems smooth enough. Certainly fly the airliner. With something like the Fenix, for example, you may have to lower those depending on your system, depending on your resolution and your graphic settings. You may have to lower the frame rate or lower the graphics. You can see by lowering the object's level of detail, seems to have saved myself a couple of frames. I can easily get away with 40 frames here in this aircraft. Even though it goes below, don't worry about that. As long as it's stable. Let me just put this down here. We'll go on a takeoff roll, shall we? Don't have any autopilot set in, just be aware. You can even look. Various things. Yeah. It seems to be sticking around that 40. The main thing is... Get my mouse back on my knee again. Oops. Look, I'm not getting any stutters as I do that. Any sort of jerky movements rather. Take off. Just going to bring my flaps up straight away, otherwise it'll start moaning at me. I'm just going to bring my throttle back. Like I said, this is not the way to fly an airliner. Nothing's set in. But as you can see there, I'm sticking around that 40 frames mark. I could lower that to something like 36, 37 maybe. But, you know, I like to keep it on a sort of even number personally. 5s or 0s for the frames. Yeah, no problem there. No problem flying the airline. Jump outside. It will take a while to settle down. Once you... Oops. Gears up. Once you're up in the air... This is certainly not the correct way to fly an airliner. Once you're up in the air, you find that the frames should settle down anyway, but it's coming back towards airports. So I would test it at an airport, busiest airport. Maybe not the highest end airport to begin with. Your frames are going to drop there regardless. You want to set it at a busy airport, few people around maybe. See what your frames are and try to get it. That 40 seems to be suiting. Oops. This specific airliner. Now what's it doing? Let's just bring that back down. Get back in the cockpit, see what's happening. That's better. And the frames will jump when you're going in and out. Scenery still looks okay. Performance is fine. Yeah, I'm overspeeding, that's why. Let's bring that speed back down. Anyway, you get the idea, my friends. I'm doing an atrocious job to just try to hand fly this A320 without any autopilot shenanigans going on. But as you can see, they're steady frames. Listen, give that a go. Give a few of those tips a go and see if it helps. I better get out before my aircraft falls apart. Let me know your thoughts. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it and it's been helpful. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.